Microphone test 1 2 1 2. Microphone test 1 2 1 2. Wow. DJ iSizzle right here, your DJ's favorite DJ. So today I want to talk about, bring up my notes here, pro DJ versus an amateur DJ. So I think we're like, as a DJ, I think we all have like the same goals. Like, we don't want to be the amateur DJ. We don't want to be playing small shows. We eventually want to get up into those bigger stages, and we want to rock large crowds, right? We've all seen the clips on Instagram, and yeah, I think we know what we're talking about here. We've all seen the EDC clips. We've all watched the shows. Tens, 30, 40,000 people in an audience, and they're all going crazy for the DJ. And I think ultimately that's where we're trying to get. But before we get there, let's just kind of talk about the differences. So I found this cool article, or it's a cool website. It's called austinbestdjs.com. And they have an article on here. It says, professional versus amateur DJ, think all DJs are the same. And they have a little verses here. Let's go over that really quick. So the first one, the professional DJ, professionalism, premium sound and lighting equipment. So versus a low budget, low quality equipment and lighting. Professional DJ, well experienced MC, great public speaking skills. Amateur DJ, uncomfortable on the microphone or won't MC at all. Professional, seamlessly mixes a variety of music and keeps guests dancing. The amateur DJ, which I kind of disagree with this one a little bit. Plays whole songs, use a playlist, your guests don't dance. Now, full songs, depending upon the crowd, are good. A lot of crowds like full songs. A lot of crowds complain that DJs don't play full songs. Now, if you're doing a dance mix and this is actually like you're playing remixes, but if this is a crowd that just wants great wedding, like a great wedding playlist, they're probably going to want the full song, and they don't need you to be cutting out of it. Now, if it's a younger crowd and they want everything mixed down and they want it to be like seamlessly mixed, then yeah, I would agree. But for the most part, I found people like the full song, unless you're going to mix out and nobody's dancing, which it happens from time to time. A song just doesn't hit in an audience like another audience would. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. DJ cares about your happiness and your guest experience. That's the professional DJ. Here's the amateur DJ. DJ makes the event about him or herself, not the client. Boy, isn't that the truth. Professional, more expensive, but booked because of professionalism and quality of service. And here's the amateur DJ. Only booked because he or she is usually available and due to low prices. You know, I kind of agree with that, but I kind of disagree with that. I would say that prices and stuff kind of depend upon the client, and then it also depends on the amount of work you'll need to do. I'll charge more just if I know there's going to be a lot of work before the actual wedding or event, meaning I'm going to have to get a whole bunch of songs together. Like, it's going to take me 3 hours to put together, the event. Then also I'll have to go over the wedding outline, make more phone calls, add more customer service in there. So I'll charge a little bit more. But if it's an event where it's last minute and they just need you to come in and play for like 3 hours, I probably won't charge as much just because it doesn't require as much work, And if they give you freedom to the playlist and they say just play what you want, here's kind of the idea that we have, then that's cool. Then I'll already have a playlist set up and it's just not as much work. But if I have to set up playlists and then I have to continually give customer service over a long period of time, then that is worth a little bit more because you are going to be spending more time with the client, as well as planning and preparation. Just as well as it also depends on how far it is. That's a big one. I'll include in the price. I won't mention it, but that will be part of the overall price. Yeah, all in all, I like this list. I agree with a lot of it. There's a few things I don't agree with, but that's just from a perspective. But something to think about. Are you a professional? Are you an amateur? What category do you fall into? That's the big one. I think overall too, like, if you charge too much, I don't think clients will want to hire you again, just based on like, versus if they're going to hire you all the time, you'll probably have to give them a little bit better of a price. And there's nothing wrong with that because you'll be booked continually and you don't have to spend the money getting clients, as well as you'll be in a crowd that has maybe seen you before, they recognize you, and then they'll actually appreciate you more than just a one-off show. Let me go over these really quick one more time. So DJ equipment is a big one. I think all DJs, like, pretty much it's like whoever's selling it to you thinks that these are the best speakers on the market, or this is the best board on the market. I found from experience, like, you want to spend a pretty good amount on your speakers, but you really probably won't be turning them up too much in a generalized situation. Maybe a show or two, you'll be cranking them up, but for the most part, I've never really had anybody say, "Hey man, can you turn that music up even louder?" So speaker quality is important, but I don't think you need the club sound for a wedding. Just depending upon who the client is, but I've never had any requests for like the super duper speakers. They're gonna rattle the place. They're gonna cause an earthquake, and maybe that's just because there's gonna be an age variance at certain events. Where it could be from 5 to 85. And sometimes people just don't want that loud music for their guests, which I understand. But yes, you should always be upgrading your equipment. You don't want outdated speakers. You want speakers that are top of the line. Make sure that you give people exactly what they're paying for. When it comes to emceeing, it's very important to rehearse before you do anything. What I like to do too is I like to have a nice little script outline. I'll practice it a few times. I don't want to have any ums and ahs. I don't want to have any, okay, yep, sounds good. I want to have a nice script that, everything is professionally laid out beforehand, and then practice it a little bit. And then also do warm-ups before you start. Do some breathing techniques. Your voice is very important, very soothing to the guests in the room. Mixing a variety of music. I think a lot of this is really, it just comes down to the client. It comes down to who's hiring you, and it comes down to if they provide a playlist. And then also if a song is kind of struggling, then it's kind of in your best judgment to kind of move it on. Even if there's a few people dancing or singing on the sidelines, that's still a win. It's still a victory. I'll look out. I'll see people way in the back singing. I'm not necessarily a guy that's going to jump on the dance floor and start dancing anyways myself. So I will relate to people like way in the back dancing, singing. I'll see people on sidelines singing. I'll see people clapping. It's still a win. And just because maybe all of them aren't on the dance floor and there's a couple people there, it doesn't mean you're losing. You're still winning. So as long as people are smiling, having a great time, that's the big thing. Dancing is important, but it's not like, I don't know. It's not the be all end all. And I don't know. I'm not the guy that's like, come on, everybody, let's get on the dance floor. It's not really my thing. Like, if a song's good, people will dance to it, is kind of my opinion. I mean, I'm more than happy to hype people when they're on the dance floor, but come on, everybody, let's get on the dance floor. It's time to dance. I don't know. I mean, if you want to say it that way or another way, I guess so. I don't know. Maybe throw on a line dance song and then have a great song to follow it up. Get people out there. DJ cares about your experience. I mean, that's definitely true. I think the experience comes down to, it's when you first meet somebody, you kind of know within 5 minutes, like, are they cool or not, or can I trust them, or what kind of vibe do they give me? So I think that's the big one. And then also I think just following through with all the promises you've made, as well as just being great at what you do, just making sure you show up. You can keep the dance floor packed, but not every song is going to pack a dance floor, and not every night is going to be the same. So, these are all good theories in general, but until you get out there and actually, play music for people and feel the vibe, I found all nights are different. Like, some nights I'll be playing salsa music. Some nights I'll put a salsa song on and no one will dance to it. Some nights it'll just pack the dance floor. Some nights I'll just be like, man, I think this one's going to work. And then it just kind of slowly dies out. And then I'll just be like, you know what? Just let me throw this song on, see what happens, whatever. Whole dance floor is packed. People come out of nowhere. They're singing like crazy. So it's hard to know. You just kind of have to play to the crowd and see what the crowd likes. You know, what artists are really working for them. It just depends. And for the most part, people, they'll give you 15, 20 minutes and then they'll just get kind of tired and then they'll go on their way. So that's where you got to rotate people out. So, and then as far as the cost goes, I mean, know your worth, but don't also be one of those guys that's like charging way too much for your service, you know? Like I get you should be paid really well for your service, but also you don't need to be overcharging people. You want to make sure that they recommend you to their friends or families, and then that way you don't have to worry about paying for actual shows. Wow, it's getting bright back here. It's getting crazy bright back here. Yeah, I wish I would give you more quality and stuff with this podcast and stuff, but I found like just sitting down and talking is really what I do best. And I don't know, I guess I could do the whole studio thing, but I find this just a little more personal, and I actually enjoy talking this way versus like booking a studio for 10 hours and then recording everything with perfect lighting and perfect everything. I don't know. I kind of want to leave that to the guys that do that the best. I'm just good at playing music and doing shows and stuff like that. So as far as sitting down and making this look like the perfect thing ever, it's not really my thing. But okay, so yeah, we kind of went over everything. I don't know if there's anything that you can think of or something that, you know, you feel like a professional adds to it versus an amateur. And maybe sometimes a client just wants an amateur DJ. I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say what the client wants. All right, well, let me know. Don't let me know. Like, don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe, share, don't share. Do what you want. All right, this is DJ iSizzle signing off. And I want to say thank you again for tuning in, watching, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you again. All right, peace.